Greetings, Light Tribe, Jenny and Palmer here. Spirit Silver Moon for Harmony Energy Healing. And I don't even know what I'm going to be making a video about today. I just thought that there's so many things that could be discussed for awareness, for healing, for coping, for deeper understanding, of just so many things that are happening in July of 2020. So there's so much that we see going on around us, even if we elect not to watch certain mega news channels. Okay, we're still going to hear about it from other people who are paying attention, or picking up bits and pieces from social media, family, friends, whatever, internet. However we get the news, the radio, okay, for the bits and pieces of limited information that we come by, and then what we choose to do with that information. So right now is a time where different states are doing things differently, and people have their different understandings of why things are happening or why they need to happen, why it's necessary or unnecessary perhaps. But people are doing what they feel is right, even higher up, whoever is in control of making those decisions. For other people, it's not up for a vote. So right now, there's a lot of things that we are not allowed to do. So like going to church and even supposedly home study. It's like we've regressed 2,000 years. But there's reasons for that. And you might hear horror stories, okay, or you might hear devastating stories or sad stories or things that make you aware that you should be cautious and you should exercise caution, that you should be concerned, hopefully not roped into the diabolical energy of fear, the fear that's sometimes used to control people by different organizations ongoing through the millennia and also currently happening today. So some people hear of someone or know someone who was sick with a particular virus or possibly died from it, because that does happen even in this day and age, to where certain people die from viruses that other people don't die from. So some people will say they had a particular virus that's been going around, and it wasn't a big deal for them. Most people on planet Earth have had different types of flu viruses or the common cold or different afflictions. And I suppose it affects people differently, especially depending on other health issues that may or may not also contribute to a situation. And there's much more probably going on that I won't get into here, because sometimes that stuff goes too deep for some people. So with regard to not being able to attend church, okay, I can see why some people would be upset about that. Some people get a lot from being able to attend a church. That's their spiritual connection. So when something changes in our lives, it challenges us to adapt and overcome, or to shift, or to flow, or to make adjustments, or whatever it is that we need to do. So sometimes when we lose something, or when something is taken away, even if it's temporary or whatever, that it makes us maybe change our perspective about something, like what's important to us, how are we going to deal with this particular situation, what is our perspective going to be? Are we going to focus on the negative and work through the energy of anger and lashing out and feeling helpless and victimized? Or are we going to find another way to channel that energy. So would we use that to be more proactive, to study at home? Maybe I watched a video today from a gal who was talking about being aware of how much you're putting of your energy into things that are external, things outside of yourself, and how much time are you taking to go within. So if we can't go out and do all these things that we're typically used to doing, then we might have to spend some time with ourselves. Then we might have to study at home, with or without people, whatever your choice may be. But it might give us an opportunity to become more of a seeker. It might give us an opportunity to study more from different sources. There are always opportunities to learn if we're open to do so. Now, some people think, oh, I can only read this book and I can only understand it this way. But then life might challenge you otherwise. So, you know, I feel like it's what we do with, we have a choice of how to respond or react to things that happen to us or around us or in our lives. So in other words, if now you can't go to church, that's happening, that's affecting you. It might not be happening like to you directly, but it's something that's happening right now that's affecting you, maybe. And so then you get to make a choice of how you're going to respond or react. Now, you might speak up because it's not fair, it's not okay, it's not legal. Also recognizing it's also temporary. Or, you know, what can I do to help people in my church that might need it, or in my community, or how can I take this time for myself to do something for me within. So there's just different ways that we can react to what we perceive, to what is going on that we may or may not have control over. So maybe someone can't go to church and they're upset or angry. Okay, how does that energy serve you? Yeah, it's the way you feel, and we need to work through it. It's not wrong to feel the way you feel, but what can you do instead? You know, we have family members, we have friends, we can talk about stuff on video chat, FaceTime, whatever it is. We can still have interaction with people, we can still have discussions with people, we can still support people, learn from people. But I think it's a good time to take some time for ourselves to work on processing, work on releasing, work on healing, work on understanding. The more that we can have understanding, the better off we'll be. Because misunderstanding is a huge culprit. Fear is a huge culprit. So this is the choice or choices that we have to decide how we're going to respond or react to what's happening around us and what we choose to do as an alternative. If something that we once had, like as a regimen or something, is something we can't do anymore. So things are happening to shift us, all of us, in some way. Humanity is being shifted, whether we like it or not. It was foretold. It is unfolding all around us. And so it can be opportunities instead of losses, okay? How are you going to shift that or spin that? Or what are you going to weave with just the newness of what's happening? Do you stay stuck in suffering or stagnation, or do you want to create something different, something better, something that works better for you or your family? So I guess I didn't know what I was going to talk about because the stuff that's going on, but like right now, at least for some places, it might be this thing about not being able to go to church for a while. And so maybe that invites you to discover that kingdom within maybe a little more deeply than you had before. And to understand that there are things that are happening that are good. Just because the news isn't talking about them, there are good things happening. Things are being revealed. Things that are hidden are being revealed. The apocalypse, the shifting of moving out of something and into something more, recognizing our worthiness and our divinity, the rapture, either work towards the higher vibration or be left behind or whatever. All of that's happening right now. So honor yourself. Take time to be with yourself. There's no time like the present for that. Peace and blessings.